welcome back, everyone. We are incredibly honored to welcome our next distinguished keynote speaker joining us from the United Kingdom, Dr. Dimah Almani. Dr. Almani is an assistant professor and chair of the European Conference on Cyber Warfare and Security. She is a leading voice in the field of cybersecurity and digital warfare, bridging deep expertise and a global perspective to one of today's most critical challenges. Her role, chairing the prestigious European Conference on Cyber Warfare and Security, reflects her exceptional standing in the international cybersecurity community. Dr. Dimah Almani, a very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Please turn on your mic and the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Khadija. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to have you with me today. And good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining me today. I don't know if the voice is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Good. Um, So I would like to start with a simple question for everyone. How many of us have spent hours searching for papers, reading articles, or organizing references, or preparing presentations? Most researchers now spend a significant portion of their time managing information rather than just creating new knowledge. So today I want to show you how AI agents are changing this reality. We are moving beyond a simple just chatbot towards system that can generally support researcher through the entire research process. The goal of this talk is not to discuss replacing researcher. Instead, it's about understanding how AI can become a trusted research assistant that can help us work smarter and focus on our innovation. So we might ask ourselves, why do researchers need help? Think about the reality of modern research now. Every day, thousands of new papers are published across different disciplines. Imagine starting a literature review today with a few months, dozens of new relevant paper that comes every day might already have appeared. Researchers face major challenge now about information overload and so on. So the problem is no longer finding just the information. The problem is finding the right information and make sense of it efficiently. So whether you working on cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, healthcare, transportation, the challenge is the same. There is simply too much information for any individual researcher to process manually. As I said, we have to find the literature review, finding papers, summarizing evidence, data analysis, writing, citation. It takes time for every researcher to do it in a perfect way. So just I'm going to go to the other slide. What is an AI agent? You might ask yourself. When many people hear that the term AI, they immediately think about the chat GPT. However, the AI agent is something different. A chatbot answer the traditional questions, but the AI agent can be given a goal. For example, we can say find a recent paper on autonomous vehicles, summarize them, identify research gap, or create a comparison table. So the AI agent will do all these things. It has goals, uses so many tools, search the information, executes the task, and remember the context and the produce the right output. In other words, we can say that AI agent behaves more like research assistant than a search. agent that we used to deal with. So think of it as a hiring like a very fast a graduate assistant that never gets tired or and can process all the information that you need in incredible scales. So this is just a graphs of how the AI agents help, or they do the search, literature review, summarize synthesis, data collections, analysis, visualization, presentation, all these process. So we you might ask yourself now the evaluation of research support, and so many people ask me about evaluation of AI agent. This evaluation didn't happen overnight. Of course, first we had the search engines such as Google Scholars that help us find information. Then we have the digital libraries that give us access to academic publications. Then we have the references managers that help us to organize the citations. Then we have the generative AI that help us to generate and summarize the content. Then now we entering the era of AI agents. The key differences is that previous tools help us with just individual tasks, while the AI agents can coordinate multiple tasks and support an entire workflow. So we are moving from, I would say, tools that assist researcher to system that actively collaborate with researchers. And if you can look here to the diagrams, it shows the evaluation of research support from 90s until the time now of AI agents. From searching engines, digital libraries, references managers like Mendeley or Stru, and then generative AI, and then the AI agents. So let's move toward this table. You can see the stage of each evaluations and then examples. For example, we have Google Scholar for search engine. We have I Explorer for digital libraries. For the references, we have Mendeley for the generative AI that we used to use with ChatGPT, Cloudy, Gemini. And then for the AI agent, we have deep research, manuals, and open AI agents. So now let's talk about what can an AI research assistant do. So I divide it by three stage: before, during, and after. So let's look at the research life cycle now. So before the research begin, AI can help explore topics and identify potential research questions in a fast way, which save our time. So use the brainstorming, finding the research gap, and find all the topics or all the novel topics on the new topics. Then the during research, the AI agent supports the literature review, summarize papers, and process large amounts of information like data or so on. And then after the research, they think they do the assist with writing, preparing the presentations for people or for the research, and even drafting responses for the reviewer. So all these stage happen in three stage: before, during, and after. So the AI agent allow us to spend less time managing information and more time thinking critically and creatively about our research. If you can look here about the literature review agent, I took it as an example from my area, from my study about autonomous vehicles. So I asked the AI agent to
Sorry,
find and summarize
um,
paper and
sorry for
trust
the interruption, ma'am. There is some
management.
issue with
Yes,
this slide. It is only showing the first slide.
the first one
It's
here.
the first slide, turning AI agents into research assistants.
Mm, okay. Are you still in the first one?
Yes,
which is
ma'am.
right.
Now it is visible.
I'm going to share again. Okay, so is it clear now? Is it a literature review agent slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So if you can look here, this is one of my favorite example because everyday researcher has experienced the challenge of conducting a literature review, and I believe it happens for you all. So imagine asking, as I said, find and summarize papers on trust management and vehicular networks. Instead of manually searching database for days, the agent can collect just papers, extract key finding, categorize them, and generate, for example, a structured summary or conclusion of your work. The important point is not to about the speed alone, but the methodology that helps researcher identify patterns, trends, trends, and research gap. So this transforms a process that normally takes days from the researchers or take months into something that can complete it in a fastest way. Starting from search database, collecting data, collecting paper, extract the key finding, categorize them, and generate a summary table, as you can see here in the output. So now let's talk about the life cycle or the research workflow. We would say, let's say that what this looks like in practice. Imagine we ask the AI agent, can search information, summarize findings, and then identify key themes, and then highlight the research gap. So, what would normally require hours or even days that can complete it in just a minute. This is where many researchers first realize that the practice value of AI agent. So the question is no longer whether AI can assist the research. The question is how we can use effectively and in responsible way. So here the life examples of the search that I look for about the autonomous vehicles, and then you can see that summarize all the papers or categorize them. For example, here about the paper that related to the reputation, here and related to the blockchain, machine learning, context aware, trust, and then the privacy trust scheme. So and now let's talk about the multi-agent research system. Now imagine not one AI agent, but the entire team working together. So one agent searched for paper, another summarized literature, another analyzed data, and then another helped prepare finding or figures and presentation. This is known as a multi-agent system and not a single system. So this is mirror how research group operate in the real world. So different specialties contribute different expertise. So this is the same idea can now be applied using AI agent working together under, I would say, human supervision. Which makes me which leads me to the next slides about human versus AI string. So here this slides highlights something very important if you can think about it. So as you can see, here's the human string and then AI strings, and then when we combine them together, what we end with. So for the human string, that the AI would say extremely good processing information in a quick way, while human are extremely good at creative, critically thinking, and judgment. So neither is sufficient alone nowadays, I would say. The strongest outcomes occur when a human expertise is combined with AI capabilities. So researchers provide direction, interpretations, ethics, and innovations, while AI provides speed, scale, and automations. The future of research is not human versus AI. It's nothing, never like that. So I would say the future it's a human plus AI. So now let's see what's the benefit of for researcher using AI agent. The benefits are coming increasingly clear. So researcher can complete literature review more quickly. They can organize information more effectively. They can reduce the repetitive task and focus on higher value activities. And most importantly, AI agent can help researchers spend more time thinking and less time searching. So this is a shift has a potential to significantly increase the productivity across academia that we live in. So now the important thing that we didn't touch it about the risk and challenge or the negative side of using AI agents. Of course, AI is not perfect. It's not always perfect. AI system can hallucinate the references or hallucinate the information. They can produce inaccurate information. They might inherit biases from training data. This means that researcher must remain critical and clear. Just because an AI system produce an answer doesn't mean the answer is correct every time. So AI should assist researcher, not replace the critical thinking. So I would say also that AI should support the decision making and not replace it. And human verification remains essential and important in each step or each stage of the AI agent. So let's talk now about the responsible use in research. So if we want to benefit from AI, we must use it in a responsible way. So always, I would say, verify sources, especially the citation. We need to check the citation. We need to check the references. We need to always maintain human oversight in each, I would say, word, each output from the AI agent, and think it of AI as a junior assistant rather than expert research, because we still now, or I can say that the AI still learn from human, and these days would take years to trust AI agent in 100%. So it can provide valuable support, but responsibly for research quality remains with us. So the researcher remains accountable for the final output. So we say that again. We always verify all the sources, check citation manually, maintain human oversight, follow institutions ethics guidance, and this is really important, especially for graduate students, that they need to follow the institution ethics guidance regarding the AI use in their assignments or in their research, and also document or do the disclosure for the AI user if you use it in your research. So if we talk about the future research assistant, the next generation of AI agent will become even more capable. Imagine an AI or the assistant that continuously monitor new publication in your research area. So an assistant that identify emerging trends before they become obvious. An assistant that can help design experiments or suggest collaborations. These capabilities are rapidly become reality. The future research assist may become common as email or search engine that we use today. So AI agents supporting all these process, but in the future we expect more and more from the AI agent. Again, I use the AI agent to support my area, which is about the vehicle trust research. And then let me just connect this discussion to my own research here in this slide. So, in vehicular trust and reputation system, researchers must review large numbers of papers, compare models, identify limitations, and discover the research gaps. And I believe this is happens with so many topics, not just only the vehicular network, because any new area or any autonomous area that comes today, we can say that every day we have a lot of papers and works that happens every day. So we can check it in 1 minute. We need AI agent to support this process. So it can search the literature, extract all the new models, so we can come up with a novel idea. So before I close up, I would say the popular AI research agent from 2025 into 2026. For ChatGPT deep research, we can use it for literature review or start as a starting point of our research. Also, we can use Cloudy for long document analysis. We can use the Perplexity for academic search, Elect for evidence synthesis. We can use a notebook, LM for research notes, and then consequence for scientific paper research. So for the conclusions, I would say I would leave you with three key messages. First, AI agent represent the next evaluation beyond a traditional chatbot. Second, I would say they can support many stage of the research life cycle and significantly improve the efficiency of our research. Third, researcher remain essential in each step of our research for critical thinking, creativities, ethics, scientific judgment cannot be automated in these days. So the future is not AI replacing researcher. The future is researcher empowered by AI. So thank you so much for your listening. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dimah Almani, for this absolutely brilliant and eye opening session. Dear participants, this is a great opportunity to interact with our speaker. If you have any questions, please feel free to share them. Yes, Saliha. Ma'am, we have a question, I think, in the chat.
Uh,
How
let
to
me see
make
the chat.
this AI agent?
How to automate it?
How
I
to
will
make
I will let
this AI agent?
to make this research agent. If you ask about how to make this research agent, we can start with the tools that I shared with you, and then move step by step using each tools. For example, you can start with ChatGPT to do the brainstorming and finding all the new ideas for the area that you're looking for, and then you can move forward and then do the literature review, and then use Cloudy for the data analysis and so on.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much,
this.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Is there any other question from the audience?
Ma'am, I have a question. Ma'am, if we are using any AI agent for our research papers, so in the context of plagiarism, how can we use it?
Oh, that's good questions, because many people mix between plagiarism and AI use. So that's what I'm saying. You have to check everything. So I would say for my master student and PhD student, do not take text from any AI tool before you just check the text so many times with Grammarly, with any plagiarism tools, so you make sure this is original text. And also you have to put in your research or in your work that you use AI tool, for example, for proofreading, writing, or for data analysis, or so on, so you can just do your responsibilities in regard to the plagiarism and using AI tools.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there any other question? I think we have
So
another question in the chat.
yeah, for the literature review, I would suggest using Cloudy or ChatGPT for the literature review to gather the information. But again, you have to look at the references, because so many information or references or citation that ChatGPT produce is not accurate. So you need to check them again to make sure you're using the right one. So you can use it just to gather the literature review or the newest papers in your area that you're looking for. But again, go check with Google Scholar if these resources are correct or not. So I can see another questions about, does AI affect or minimize human critical thinking capabilities? Yeah, this is one of the great question. So I would say I always telling my students it's okay to use AI in your research or in your work, in your project, but please do not forget your thinking. So in each steps, you have to use your thinking. You have to do the judgment and critical thinking, starting with brainstorming the idea, literature review, the methodology. You have to understand it in a good way, so you can train yourself on these technology. So what we can say that okay, if you use the AI tools, but in other way we expect more and more of advanced technology regarding algorithms or technical projects or so on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dimah Almani. You have
Thank
given
you.
all of us a truly important perspective on how AI and digital threats intersect in today's world. We are so honored to have had you with us today from the UK. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, everyone, and I hope I meet you again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear audience, our next session is with Dr. Aisha Hina, which is on a separate Google Meet link. Our team has shared the new meeting link in your WhatsApp group. Please click that link, leave this room, and join the next session. See you all in Dr. Aisha's room. Thank you.